you all remember that feeling that you felt inside after 9/11? Do any of you all remember that overall feel in America after September the 11th, 2001? You know, I was only in the 5th grade when 9/11 happened, yet I can still remember those feelings very, very vividly. There was this overall sense of togetherness in this country that you very rarely feel. You know, America is all about individuality. America is all about having the freedom to express yourself as an individual. And that is a beautiful thing. But at the same time, it has dumbed down our sense of community in this country. But in the days, the weeks, and the months after 9/11, our country came together. There was this sense of camaraderie. You started looking at people differently. You started not looking at people as strangers. You started looking at people like, hey, we're in this together. You know, in America, a lot of us are used to worrying about things on an individual basis. How can I do what's best for me and mine? But after 9/11, we started looking at things as a group. How can we do what's best for Americans? Neighbors were helping neighbors at a whole different level. People were setting aside their differences for a common cause. It was a beautiful experience. Now, don't get me wrong. There was this lingering fear and anxiety that something bad was going to happen. But at the same time, there was this lingering feeling of passion and anger that would have people fired up, ready for something to happen. Now, I believe it was about 6 or 7 weeks after 9/11, the World Series was happening. I believe it was Game 3. And the president at the time, George W. Bush, was set to go out and deliver the ceremonial first pitch. Now, I'm not a baseball guy, but me, along with millions of other Americans, were tuned in to watch our president throw out the first pitch in this game. And we were all viewing it as a symbol of American pride. And I can tell you right now, when George Bush walked onto that field, he had on the FDNY jacket. And you know, even though I'm not a baseball guy, I have seen plenty of failed first pitches. You throw the ball and it doesn't make it to home plate. You throw the ball, it hits the ground, it goes over here, it goes over there. We've seen plenty of people fail at this. And we were all sitting glued to our screens, hoping and praying that George Bush delivers a beautiful pitch for our country. It's almost as if the future of America was hanging in the balance, waiting on this first pitch. George Bush walks onto the field and he nails it. And in that moment, I don't think I have ever felt prouder to be an American. In that moment, I was so fired up. Mind you, I'm in 5th grade, okay? I don't know about all of the intricate details and all of the things going on behind the scenes. All I know is what I see on the news. And in that moment, I was fired up. Along with millions of other Americans, I was ready. Let's go. Let's drop some bombs on these MFers. Blow, you know what I mean? We were ready. America. Let's go to the Middle East and let's show them. You know what I mean? Everyone was fired up after that pitch. Now, as an adult, I look back on that and I kind of laugh. Because that pitch that got us all fired up, yes, it was the start of something new, but it was not the start of something good or something great. You know, at that age in 5th grade, I wasn't questioning 9/11. Not many people were. We were told, oh, there's weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. I believed it. Hell, I'm 10 years old, 11 years old. Okay, sure. Oh, they attacked us? They took down our buildings? Thousands of our people died? Sure. Let's go bomb the shit out of these people. Now that I'm older, now that I have a lot of questions about 9/11, now that I know the type of person George Bush is, now that I know how the media works, I obviously don't feel the same way. But you see, that pitch, it was the start of a whole new world. In many ways, it was the start of the war on terror. In many ways, it was the start of this overall crazy conflict that raged out in the Middle East until a couple of years ago. And now, it's back. But what I find really, really weird is that recently, George W. Bush has made his way back onto the baseball field to deliver another ceremonial first pitch. Now, what's weird about this, you ask? Well, George Bush's first pitch after 9/11 was the start of a whole new war in the Middle East. And now, George W. Bush has delivered another first pitch right before another massive war in the Middle East. Now, I'll give you more of my thoughts on that in just a moment, but let's go ahead, let's watch this pitch, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
Please welcome the 43rd President of the United States of America, George W. Bush.
You know, I often say that the world is a stage and we're just spectators. I fully believe that a lot of the things that happen in this world aren't spontaneously happening. I believe a lot of these events have been planned for years and years and years. I believe that there is predictive programming. They put things in movies, television shows, cartoons, video games, showing you the reality of what is going to happen in the future. I believe that the world's elites, they like to dangle things in front of our faces, almost mockingly, to mock us. I believe that they put signs right there in our faces. They put subliminal messages out there. And in recent years, these messages aren't subliminal anymore. In fact, they're beating you over the head with this stuff. So when I look back on how passionate I felt that day when George W. Bush delivered that pitch after 9/11, and I look at everything that transpired afterwards, with the war on terror, with us right here at home losing a lot of our rights. A lot of people think that this push to take away our rights started during the lockdowns a few years ago, but in reality, they started after 9/11. Our government strategically has used these catastrophic events as an excuse to take certain rights and privileges away from us. So as I think back to that and I look at this new pitch, I can't help but feel that it's almost a sign. That it's almost the elites, the powers that be kind of mocking us. Hey, we put George Bush out here for a first ceremonial pitch before we went over there to Iraq and we went ham in the Middle East. And guess what? We're going to put George Bush out here again. We're going to let him throw that first pitch and get ready, because in a couple of weeks, now we're going to be right back in the Middle East again. It's kind of like an indicator of what's to come. Now, some of you may view this and think nothing of it. And I'm not here to tell you, oh, this is for sure what's going on. I'm not here to do that. I'm just here to say it's kind of odd. And if you know how these elites work, how these powerful people work, they enjoy things like this. They enjoy putting out those little Easter eggs, those little tidbits that make you question things, that make you wonder, because they know that the majority of people are stupid and they won't spot it. And the people who do spot it will be viewed as conspiracy theorists for even bringing it up. And I know a lot of you probably think that I'm a big conspiracy theorist for even making this video, but you can't deny the symbolism there. I just find it odd that you didn't go to our current president. You didn't want to go to Barack Obama. Oh, you wanted George Bush to throw out this pitch. And it just so happens that you trot him out here to throw this first pitch as our warships are headed to Israel, as we're making the announcement that we're sending Marines to Israel, as the U.S. has finally revealed that we already got Special Forces units on the ground in Israel. How many years has it been since 9/11? 22 years? 22 years later, it just so happens that the next first pitch that George W. Bush throws out is right before another massive conflict in the Middle East. It's just weird, folks. It's just really weird, if you ask me. It's kind of like when they trot out the groundhog to see if there's going to be 6 more weeks of winter. That's what they do with George Bush. They bring him out every time there's going to be 6 more years of war in the Middle East. But yeah, if this is any indicator of what's to come, it's not going to be pretty, folks. But like I said, you don't have to read too much into this. It's just another one of those odd coincidences that always happen, right? But let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. If you're feeling generous, you can support this channel by dropping a super thanks. Or you can support this channel for free by sharing this video, liking this video, subscribing, ringing that notification bell. But as always, I'll talk to you all very soon in the next video. And remember to always remain opinionated.